This is Total Television reporting from Carriers World in Dubai. I'm talking to Beatriz Butsana-Sita of BT. Beatriz, what are the underlying trends that you're facing at the moment?
So I mean, you talk about the whole telecom sector. Well, I think, over the past 10 years, this sector has undergone a lot of changes. And, the thing that, that keeps me awake at night a lot is, the erosion of the traditional revenues, voice revenue. And if you think about some, over-the-top players like, Skype or Google, I mean, they've taken away a lot of that traditional revenue by offering voice services pretty much free of charge. So that is something that, traditional players like BT and other carriers across the world really have to deal with. So, furthermore, I mean, emerging technologies, those new agile entrants, because obviously they are quick to launch new applications in the markets. I mean, this is something that we cope with it every single day. And then also, what's happening in the market among businesses and consumers, that our customer base is becoming much more demanding. I mean, they want 24/7 service, always on, always working, whether you are in London or Frankfurt or Dubai or somewhere in Peru. And that's something obviously that we got to deliver. So, I think that's quite a lot of challenges we've got to deal with.
Well, absolutely. Of course, you are one of the largest carriers in the world, and you have the experience. I guess that helps you cope with that kind of demand.
Yes, but as I said, I think we've got to get more agile, because that is very important. I mean, if you think about those other players, I mean, the competition comes from all angles. It used to come from the traditional telcos, so my competitors would have been, the AT&T, the France Telecom, Orange, whoever you want to call. But over the last years, I mean, software players become your competitors, just to name one, Microsoft. We get over-the-top players, like the Google or the Facebook or the FaceTime. So all this makes it really, really quite complicated and challenging. But as telcos, we can actually add something to it. So maybe we didn't come up with the great ideas lately in the applications that our consumer or businesses want, but we can enhance them, make them better.
And where does, in all this change and all these new applications, there's also the issue of interoperability. How does that fit into the mix?
Yeah. Interoperability is a word that is being used a lot lately. So, I'll try to give you my take on it. If you look at a lot of those new applications, I'll take a very simple one. I'm sure you're very familiar with, Skype and using, video to call family members across the world. Very simple, highly successful. But, first of all, it's not really business quality. I mean, it's still very patchy and so on. And it is really using the internet. Now, if you had a mobile device or a smart device, or you're just using maybe a phone in the office, could you have that same experience? Could you do a video call seamless, point to point currently? The answer is no. Let's say, I'm trying to call you, you happen to be in Bolivia somewhere, and you have access to a good local network, and I'm in London using the BT network. Well, probably with Skype we could get something working, but using phone or mobile devices, it's just not seamless. There is no proper interworking between the devices and between the network. So I think what is a challenge, what is something that the telcos can really work on, is develop interoperable networks. So all these islands of different networks that are covering the world, how can we make them talking to each other? But also, how can we make sure that then when devices are ready to accept a video call or edge definition voice, a network can support all this. This is really interoperability across different networks, across different devices, across different providers. Now, I think that is somewhere that we can really play a big role, and that will change the quality of communication across the world, miles, I think. And that's something where the over-the-top players have not done, but that's something that we could address.
That's very interesting, and of course here in Dubai there are, I think, 90 operators presenting this week, so I guess that's a rare chance for you service providers to get together and go through some of these issues.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, we hosted a debate yesterday with a number of carriers across the Middle East, and we discussed those issues. And what is really fun is to see that these carriers have exactly the same challenges as carriers such as BT, so we know exactly what it is. And one of the topic that got discussed a lot is why do we carriers have to invest in next generation broadband, fiber to the premises and the cabinet, and the over-the-top players, they get to make the money with their all new very attractive applications. So how is that going to evolve? When are they going to be regulated? We are really basically fed up to pay and not getting the rewards for it. But I think will change. It's just a question of where you are in that product life cycle.
Absolutely. An event like this, I guess it is quite good for you to be able to get together with colleagues from other countries and actually go through these kind of issues. Is this something that one of the reasons you've come out to Dubai this week?
Yes, so for me it's actually really important because I mean the Middle East, okay, nowadays you can travel everywhere, but to be able to meet all your customers, partners, face to face, you put a face to the name, is very important, and especially I think in the Middle East where it's important to develop a good relationship with your customer and partners. So I have a couple of customers where we do a lot of business for, and I've never seen the face of the person. It was actually quite pleasant to meet the persons live. So yes, I mean for me it's all about meeting people here really, more than listening to the speeches as such.
That's great. Well, as a BT customer myself, I hope you do manage to come out on top, and thanks for talking to Total Television.
Thank you, it was my pleasure.